Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here for the first time then welcome. My name's Trina-Louise and over here on my channel we do all things plus size, fashion and beauty. Now in today's video I thought it'd be really fun to do a full face testing one brand video and so the brand that I picked for today's video is Essence. Now Essence is a brand that I've tried a couple of things from and I've loved everything that I've tried, so I've really wanted to do a bit more of a deep dive exploration into their products before, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity. They are so affordable, like one of the most affordable brands out there. So if you're looking for some cheap makeup that's hopefully good quality, which we'll test today, then this might be a great brand for you. I know that you can get them in the shop in Wilkinson's, but you can also get them on a couple of websites that I will list down below for you. But yeah, a couple of products that I already have from them that I love are their lipsticks. So I love their Perfect Shine lipsticks and their, what are these called? This Is Me lipsticks. So these are my ones that I already have in my collection, but I've got a couple of new ones to show you. Their nail polishes are amazing. I absolutely love their nail polishes. And then of course there is their like famous cult product, which is the Lash Princess False Lash Effect mascara in the green packaging. So these are all products that I already know and love, which gives me the faith to go in and test more from the brand. So like I said, I've got a full face to try, and I've even got a couple of like duplicate products. Like I've got 2 eyeshadow palettes to test, I've got 2 blushes, I've got a highlight and a highlighting palette. So we've got various options to try, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lipsticks. I think all of this cost me £80 or £90, which is obviously a lot of money to spend, but if you are looking to buy a full face of makeup, £80 or £90 is an amazing price. So I think this is going to be a long video, so I'm going to stop rambling, get on and put some stuff on my face. So the first product that I've got to try is a primer, and it is the Essence, obviously it's Essence, it's all Essence, but it's the Hydrating and Perfecting primer, and it has SPF 20 in, and it's just a little like squeezy dropper liquid, and it says shake before use, so I'm going to give it a good shake. And we will put some on my face. Does it say anything? Nope, just says put it on your face. So let's see if we can get some. Seems to be having trouble like getting the product in the whatever this thing's called, the squeezy thing. So that's, oh, it started to work then. Give it another go. Okay, so annoyingly, for some reason, you have to squeeze it, put it in, let go, and then it gets some of the product. So it might just be that mine's a bit faulty, but I've made an awful mess of the whole thing trying to make that work. But we'll put some on my face and we'll see what happens. I don't know how much of this I need, and I've just got it all in my hair, which is wonderful. Take that out and then I'll rub it in. So it feels quite thin in consistency, a bit oily, and like I can kind of smell the SPF in it. I think very lightly I can, like, it's a very light smell, but it does feel quite like a greasy product, so I feel like this might be good for dry skin, which is what I have, but not so good if you've got oily skin. But like, it looks quite glowy, I think, which is really nice. But yeah, it does feel quite greasy, so we'll have to see how that does under foundation. But like, it looks quite nice and glowy, and it does feel hydrating. It's got a tiny bit of tackiness to it, which I do like. So yeah, we'll have to see how it works with the foundation. Speaking of foundation, the foundation that I've got to try is the Insta Perfect Liquid Makeup, and it is a strong matte effect waterproof buildable coverage foundation. Now this isn't the foundation I wanted to pick, but the other 2 foundations that you could try were out of stock. This was the only foundation I could get in my shade, so I thought we'd give this a go. This is in the shade number 10 Cool Porcelain. The shade range isn't the best, I have to say. They could really do with working on their shades. Like, this is the lightest one, and I'm not sure how well it's going to work. I think it might just be okay, but they don't have the biggest shade range, so that's something they definitely need to work on. So it's one of these like squeezy dropper, I don't know what it's called, squirty thingy-bobobs. So that is, wait, I should probably put it somewhere you can see it. This is the shade. Now it looks like actually once this is rubbed in, it will work for me, which is lucky. But yeah, let's put it on my face and see what happens. Yeah, that colour's going to work just fine for me. Now this did say it is a buildable coverage, lightweight makeup with a strong matte effect for perfect skin tone, light, long lasting, waterproof, mixable with other colours. But on the front it does say buildable, so let's see how it does with one layer. Like, you can definitely see it's giving me some coverage and just evening up my skin tone. Like, you can see more redness here where I haven't got the foundation yet, and it is giving me a bit of coverage. Like, I've had a bit of a breakout over here, and it is covering it a bit. Not the most coverage, but it does say it's buildable, so we will try and go in with a little bit more. So yeah, it is definitely got some coverage to it. It says it's matte, but we'll have to see if it dries down, because right now, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it looks quite glowy. So I'm going to try and put a little bit more on my cheeks just to see if we can actually build it up. Because sometimes that's where foundations fail. They get a bit cakey when you try and build them up. So when I'm building it up, I like to put the product on the back of my hand and then dab it onto the sponge so there's not so much product. You can definitely build it up, but I don't think to any kind of full coverage level. But it looks really nice on the skin. But it looks really glowy, and I don't know if that's because of the foundation or because of the primer that we've got on underneath. But it is meant to be matte, so I'm glad it's not, because I prefer a more glowy foundation. But we will have to give it a minute and see how it sets down. But so far, I think it's looking good. I'm going to have a bit more of a closer look. So on closer inspection, it's very glowy. I feel like it might be sitting on my skin a bit, so I need to see if it dries down. And I can see quite a bit of texture coming through. I don't know if you will pick it up on camera, but I can see my pores quite a lot with this. So we'll see how it dries down and how it is when we put some other products on it. So for concealer, I've got the Camouflage Healthy Glow Concealer, and again I've got this in the shade 10 Light Ivory, which was their lightest shade. Now they did have this in a more glowy version, which is what I've got, and a more matte version, but obviously I want the glowy one. But it says that this is waterproof, vitamin complex, ultra covering texture with light reflecting particles for a healthy glow. So we'll put this on and see how it does. This foundation, you know when you've got like a wet product on your face and your face is like tickling, and like I literally just touched it and it all moved. Like, I don't know if this is going to dry down, but I hope it does, because with it being a matte foundation, I don't want to have to use a lot of powder, so we'll see. But yeah, let's give this concealer a try. Let's see what the doe foot looks like. So it's a bit of a funny doe foot. Like, it's got a bit of a curve. So we will give this a go and hope that should we test out the shade before I put it on? You can see that. It looks a little bit dark and a little bit yellow. So I don't know how well it's going to work at brightening, but let's give it a go. Oh. I don't like this doe foot. Like, it doesn't feel like it's got much sponge on it, so it's just like not the nicest feeling. For the lightest, this is looking kind of dark on me, but let's blend it in. Oh no, It's giving coverage, but I think it's looking quite cakey. Let me finish blending it in and then I'll show you. Like, it's got a bit of coverage, but it's just not looking the best. Like, it looks just a bit like cakey under the eyes. Like, I don't know if you can really tell on camera. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I'm gonna put a little bit of a different concealer just to give myself a bit of a brightening effect, and then we'll test out some powder. Moving on, the powder that I picked to try is the Loose Fixing Powder Instant Blur Effect Natural Matte Finish. So I'm hoping it's not too matte. My face is still very wet to the touch. Like, this product is gonna need some serious setting. So again, I got the lightest shade, which is 10 Light, and it just looks like that in the pot, in the jar. But it does scare me because that looks quite dark. Like, don't know if it's picking up, but that's quite dark. So we will have to see how that looks on my face. Oh, my under eyes are not looking good. Like, I don't know how well you can see, but they just look really cakey. So yeah. So I definitely needed the powder to set down this foundation, but even with all that powder on, it still feels a bit like tacky, like, and wet through the powder. So I'm having to like really powder it down to make sure it sets and stays in place. But luckily, you know, I think I struggle with powders and this isn't the best. Like, I can see dryness and texture, especially around here, but it's not the worst. So if you have dry skin, I think this works. It's not the best, but it's definitely a workable option. Now moving on to setting spray, I've got the Keep It Perfect Makeup Fixing Spray. Again, I think the one that I wanted was out of stock, so I've got this one, but it says the light refreshing spray fixes, protects reliably the makeup. That doesn't make sense. Without leaving a sticky feeling on the skin for all skin types. So already my skin is stickier than I'd like it to be, so hopefully this will not make it any stickier. It's quite a, yeah, intense spritzer. Like, if you spray too close, you're gonna get covered. So this is like a far away one. Oh, even from there. Oh. That is an intense spritzer. It feels really nice and refreshing, but it's a really intense spritzer, so we'll have to, like, you can see like water droplets all over my face, which is not what you want. So that is the base. Like, it's worked, but it's just not my favourite. Like, I really don't like this concealer. The foundation is okay, the powder is okay. We'll have to see if the fixing spray makes my makeup last longer, but the spray was intense. So moving on to bronzer. All the bronzers I wanted to try were out of stock, so I picked up this Mosaic compact powder in Sun Kissed Beauty because I thought it had a bit of a bronzer look. Now, I usually go for a matte bronzer, but this is quite sparkly. Like, there's a lot of glitter in there, so we'll have to see how that looks. It's really fun. It comes off this kind of colour, so hopefully that's going to work as a nice bronzing colour for me. It looks like quite a cool toned colour, so this might work quite nicely on my pale skin. So I'm going to swirl my brush around, tap off the excess and see what we can do. I can definitely see like glitter particles, but the colour of it is quite nice. I don't like the glitter. So I'm not a fan of the glitter, but colour-wise, I think it's just giving me a really nice, healthy glow. So if you can look past the glitter, actually this is a really nice coloured bronzer for me. So I picked out 2 blushes to try. Now I do actually prefer a more glowy blush. So I picked up the Blush Lighter, which is a gradient blush powder, and I picked this up in Coral Sunset because I really love a peachy, corally, glowy kind of blusher, and I thought this one looked super, super pretty. So I think if you swirl your brush around in the 2 areas, let's see how it looks. So that just looks like a really nice, glowy, corally kind of shade. The other one I picked was the blush in shade 50 Blooming, and this one has no glow, but it's just a really, really pale pink. Like I thought it was maybe a little bit pinker. Like I'm not sure how much this is going to show up on my skin, to be honest. It would just be a really, really subtle colour. So I'm going to try the more glowy, corally one. So I'm going to get some on my brush, tap off the excess because I'm always scared of blush just being like too much, and just put it on the top of my cheeks like so. Whoa, you can definitely see how glowy it is. Like, it's almost like a highlighter coming down. Yeah. I mean, it is called the Blush Lighter, so I should have expected this level of glow. But it's got a really nice orangey shade, like corally shade underneath. But then, yeah, this crazy glow on top. Let me see if I can buff some of the glow away. Nope. But like, it's like gold specks almost. Like it's glitter. Like it's too glowy. But yeah, that was probably to be expected. I wonder if you could just use the more matte side. You probably could, so maybe if you focused on your brush on this side, it would get less of the glitter. But yeah, I'd expected more glow than glitter, but yeah, I look tanned and glowy and shiny. So I think for like holiday in the sun, this would be really nice, but I'm not sure about it for like every day. Now moving on to one of the most exciting parts of the makeup process, we have highlighters. So I picked up this little highlighter, which is called the Highlighter, and it is in the shade 20 Hypnotic, and I picked a nice like goldeny light kind of colour. Let's give this a swatch. Looks pretty, looks quite subtle though, but looks like it would be a really nice, pretty, everyday highlighter. But what I'm more excited about is this highlighting palette. It's called Choose Your Glow Highlighting Palette, and it has 3 colours inside. Like, how pretty is this? Like, I'll give you some swatches so you can see. So that's what they look like on my fingers. So we've got, that's Candlelight Glow, Major Glow, wow, and Summer Glow, which is probably a little bit too dark for me, but I think the one that is screaming my name is Major Glow. They do look a bit chunky, I'm not gonna lie, but they do look crazy metallic, so hopefully once we buff them into the skin, they're gonna work quite nicely. So I'm gonna take some of Major Glow. Like, there's a lot of kickback in the pan. Like, I don't know if you can see how much. Like, so I'm definitely gonna tap off the excess and see what happens. Wow, that's pretty. I am so glowy today, but that is so pretty. Yeah. I like it, I like it. Now, what is happening though, because I've got glow on my cheeks, it just looks like I've got a straight line. So I am gonna just pat everything down with my powder brush and try and just like soak up some of this intenseness. I have just noticed like the foundation has just completely disappeared from my nose. so it still didn't set down. So yeah, if you've got oily skin, that foundation is not going to work for you, and if you've got dry skin, it is still it's just moving a lot. But that highlighter is gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that is a winner for me. So moving on to the eyes. Like I said, I have got 2 palettes to pick from. Like, the packaging is super pretty. The first one I picked is the Salut Paris eyeshadow palette, and this is more of a, like, it's got a bit of like a neutrally pinky purpley kind of tone to it, but I'm not sure how like vibrant these colours are going to be. We'll do some swatches so that we can see how they look. So they don't have names on them, so I'll just do the top row and the bottom row. They feel quite nice and creamy, to be fair. So this is the first 4 shades from the first row. Can't really see those 2 on my skin tone too well. So they're quite cool toned. There was just 1 more on the top row to try. And then we'll try the bottom row, which has got the more, there's 1 more matte and 3 shimmers. So I think the bottom row is going to be more my kind of vibe. But this is the bottom row. So the shimmers look pretty. But like the mattes look a little bit dusky, a little bit dusty, but the shimmers look pretty. So this might just be like a nice, soft, everyday kind of palette, but I am a little bit more excited about the other palette, I have to say. So the second palette is called the Be Royal Not Cute palette, and the packaging is gorgeous, but it's just got really nice pinky purpley colours, and I love that it's got like a top row of like matte shades and then all these shimmers for you to choose from. So I think I'm going to dig into this palette, but before I forget, I do also have a couple of single shadows that I picked up. So I picked up 2 of their sprinkled chrome shadows. So I picked up 1 in the shade Venus, and we'll give that a swatch. Like, they just look so fun in the palette, and it looks so like gorgeous. Let's give this a swatch. That's pretty. That's really pretty. And then the second sprinkled one I picked up is called Mercury, and this is more of a silver. Again, looks super pretty. They are a bit chunky, but once you blend them in a bit, they work a bit better. And then I picked up one of the melted chrome eyeshadows, and I picked this up in Golden Crown. And let's swatch this one. Ooh, this is more of a like wet feeling shadow, and it looks just like gorgeously foiled. So let's put this one over here. Wow, that is gorgeous. Yeah, I love these. So we might see if we can incorporate one of those somewhere, but I am very excited to dig into this palette. Let me do some swatches for you first. So these ones do have shade names on, so I can tell you those as we go. Oh, they feel really buttery and creamy. Like, again, they look a bit like crumbly, but we'll see how they work on the eyes. So the first shade is Everybody's Darling. Yeah, like it's quite crumbly. Then we've got Happily Ever After. We've got This Is The Life. That'll make a really nice transition shade. Take Your Oath. Ooh, she's pretty. Then we've got True Woman. And we've got Little Black Dress, which is quite a dark plummy purple. So they're all, the mattes are quite crumbly, but but they do look like they'll be really nice, like transition shades. Like I'm loving this colour here. So we'll try out the shimmers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 shimmers, which is amazing. So I'm going to give you a quick swatch of all of them. So they look really, really pretty, but again, you can see there's just a little bit of crumbliness to them. So the first one is Royal Treatment. Wow, they do look pretty. Glamour Queen, Champagne Glitz, and His Princess. Wow, okay, the shimmers are insane. The shimmers are amazing. The shimmers are like almost wet in the pan. Look at those. Oh my god. So where are we? We've got Marry Me Love. We've got Cupcake Kisses. Wow. We've got Give Me Diamonds. Gosh. And we've got Crown Privilege. You can see there's a lot of crumble, but I reckon once you're buffing with the brush it won't be too bad. But you can see like there's a lot of movement in the shadows, if that makes sense, in the pan. So we've got 4 more shimmers. So moving on to the other arm, we have got, it's quite hard to see the shades because they're written on like a metallic gold. So this is Wealthy Girl. We've got Met the Prince. Wow. We've got Stars in the Sky. And we've got Casino Royale. So these are not the best swatches anyone's ever done, but the shimmers are insane. Like I'm not, the mattes are nice, but like the shimmers are insane. So I'm gonna put this on my face. So we are obviously gonna have to go with some kind of like pinky look. Let me move in a bit for you. Very close up and personal. Let me think. I might start with putting a bit of Happily Ever After all up this area, and then building Take Your Oath into my crease. So there's a lot of kickback in the pan with these. That looks really pretty. I'm just going to do the other eye. Okay, now we're ready for some shimmer. I don't know which one I want to use. I think having this many shimmers to choose from is like blowing my mind a bit. We might just try this first one, which is called Royal Treatment. I'm going to try it on a brush first and see how it works. And then if we need to make it work a bit better, we can always use some setting spray or our finger. But I'm going to try it with the brush first. That's really... I'm quite happy with those. What I would say is there was like, you can almost see in this shade that I've not really used, there was like a what is it, like an, it's not an indentation because it was raised, but there was the picture in there, but you can see with the shades I've used that they've almost completely gone, which just goes to show how much like powder comes up. So you do have to be careful of that. It is a little bit messy, but if you're careful, like, I think that eye's looking really pretty. So I've got an eyeliner to test, and it is the Essence, obviously Essence liquid ink eyeliner, and it's one of these brushes that you dip in. Now my favourite kind of eyeliner is a brush that is like, you know, like a felt tip one, but it's a brush, if that makes sense. I'm not sure, I haven't used one of these kind of eyeliners in a very, very long time, so we'll have to see how it goes. I'm making it work, but it's just not the easiest. It's quite liquidy, so you just have to be careful. But it is quite black. It's just not the easiest kind of eyeliner to use, but it's fine. I would still prefer to use this than a brush tip one. Not a brush tip, a pen, like a felt tip eyeliner. I cannot use those for the life of me. So I'd still prefer this one, but I'd much prefer a brush pen kind of eyeliner, like the Kat Von D tattoo liner, or is it Epic Ink by NYX. So I don't hate that liner, but I don't love it either, but it definitely does the job. Now onto mascara. Like I said, the green Lash Princess mascara is maybe my favourite mascara of all time, but I thought today we could try the purple one, which is the Sculpted volume one, and this one has more of a curved brush, so I thought we'll give this one a go and see if it compares. Working, but it's just not the same. Like, I much prefer my green one. But it's still fine. I just don't think it's curling my lashes, which is... Oh, Sculpted volume. Okay, I thought it was meant to curl for some reason. It's definitely given a bit of volume, but not much more than the green one does, and I just prefer the green one. Yeah, it works, but... Oh, I prefer my tried, tested and true, the green one. That's the eyes done. I did find the mascara was a little bit tricky to use because of the curled brush. I felt like I was getting it a bit, like I think I've got it on my lid there. So it was a little bit more difficult to use, but it definitely works and I definitely like it. And I think the eyes are looking really pretty. So I'm going to zoom you out, do some lips and finish this look off. We're a little bit less intense now, so I've got 5 different lip products to try. Now, like I said, I've tried the Perfect Shine lipsticks before and I love them. Same with the This Is Me lipsticks, I love them. But I haven't tried a liquid lipstick, or what's this one called? A velvet matte before, so we'll give them all a swatch. For this look, I'll go for the more pinky, shiny lipstick. So this is the Perfect Shine lipstick in the shade Perfect Match. So it's got more of a purple tint to it than I thought, but I think that goes really nicely with the look. So this is the finished look. So I'm really happy with how it's turned out overall. There were a couple of products that I liked and a couple of products that I really didn't like, actually. Like the concealer, I just think my under eyes are looking really quite dry. Not a fan of that. The foundation's okay, but I'm gonna have to try it with a different primer because it's still like moving around on my skin. So I need to find out if it's the combination of these two products or yeah, I just need to try them separately and see how I feel. The blush I wasn't a huge fan of because it was more glittery than glowy. Love all the lipsticks. I just love their lipsticks. The highlighter palette is, I'm really looking forward to trying out the other 2 shades. all the eyeshadows, like, just, you have to work with them. They're a bit crumbly and a bit messy, but they're really nice, and I'm really excited to try out their little singles that I've got. So I would say their complexion products, I'm not too sure that they are the best, but their mascaras, their eyeshadows and their lipsticks are amazing. So I think if I'm going to buy more from them in the future, I'm going to stick to the more powder products and the lipsticks, because yeah, the highlights as well were super nice, and at such an affordable price as well. Like, I'm so impressed with the quality for the price. So yeah, that's everything for today. Let me know what you think. Is there anything here that you want to pick up and try? What do you think of the look? Like, be kind on the blending, because I know I'm working on this new shape, but I think it works much better for me. Like, even when I'm looking down, you can still see some of the colour on my eyes and they don't just disappear. But yeah, I had loads of fun sitting down playing with makeup for you today. I am still learning how to make these kind of videos, so I will hopefully improve with every video I make. But yeah, that's it for today's video. If you like what you've seen and you haven't already, if you want to subscribe, that would mean the world. And I will see you next time. Bye.